So today I'm going to be talking about cells, especially plant eukaryotic cells such as plant cells and animal cells. If I can load in, I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay, first things first, there is plant cell. First things first, there's a plant cell, and at the center of the plant cell, like somewhat in the center, there's the nucleolus. This transcribes and modifies RNA and stores doesn't store chromosomes. Then there's the nucleus. This is basically the control center of the cell, and there's chromosomes inside of it. On the nucleus, there's the nuclear membrane and the nuclear pores, which allows ions and particles to go through to the nucleus through diffusion, not transfusion. And there's the rough endoplasmic reticulum, which basically has a whole bunch of ribosomes on it, which makes it the rough texture that is seen in a cell. The ribosomes make proteins, and the ER helps make proteins and fats and stuff like that. Over here is a smooth endoplasmic reticulum. It doesn't have the ribosomes as seen over there, and it still helps make proteins and stuff like enzymes. Over here is the large central vacuole, which stores waste and like water and nutrients such as like salts and whatnot. Mitochondrion, this makes glucose for the cell, and or it doesn't make glucose, but it breaks down glucose and carbon dioxide for the plant to use to make energy, and this helps it grow. The amyloplast, basically, let's talk about that a little bit later. But the chloroplast, this makes the glucose and energy that is used by the mitochondria to make ATP energy. This is peroxisome. It basically breaks down. It doesn't basically. It breaks down peroxides and stuff that the body uses to heal, or like not the body, but like the stems and stuff. Golgi body. This is basically like the messenger city of the body. And it goes and like delivers stuff throughout the body. Okay, so the amyloplast. Sorry, I kind of had a refresher on what it does. Stores starch granules, which basically is part of glucose. Starch is basically like a larger molecule made of glucose, and it basically has hard carbohydrates that are used to make ATP energy. So this is somewhat like a large central vacuole, but in that it stores starch granules. And over here we have the animal cell, but over here, Golgi body, which is basically like the messenger center of the body, and it sends off the Golgi vesicles, which deliver stuff throughout the body. Over here is the mitochondrion. This does the same thing as it does in the plant cell, but instead of using carbon dioxide, it uses oxygen, O2, to make energy, which then it makes it into carbon dioxide and water because of the process of making ATP energy. Over here is the peroxisome. It breaks down peroxides and things like that are used to help heal the body. So there's a lot of things in the animal cell that there are in the plant cell. However, the amyloplast does the same thing. It stores starch granules. There's where is it? 1 second. It's running against it. However, there's a lysosome, which isn't in the animal cell. Helps break down proteins and stuff into amino acids that are used throughout the body for healing processes. Over here is the nucleolus and the nucleus, which basically do the same function as over there. The nucleolus transcribes and modifies RNA, and within the nucleus there is chromosomes, which is basically the DNA that are used for like controlling body and cell growth. Then I got these two backwards on accident. On the nucleus, there's a nuclear membrane with nuclear pores, which allows a process of diffusion, in which ions and molecules go into the nucleus if needed. Then I didn't talk about this over on the plant cell. However, there's this thing called a cell membrane, which controls what enters and exits the cell. And since there isn't a thing called a cell wall, which can be seen on a plant cell, which makes it more rectangular, It's an extra layer which gives it rigidity and stiffness. And the membrane is slightly more loosey-goosey. However, it has cytoskeleton, which gives it structure. And I used the red to signify this is the animal cell because can't use green because plants are usually green. But that is it for how a cell works, except I forgot one thing. It's a centriole. Okay, so the centrosome splits into two, goes to two different sides of the cell during mitosis, helps in cell division, and also helps in meiosis, which is happens during sexual reproduction when two reproductive cells combine. And these are called the microtubules, which are a part of the skeletal system, like the cytoskeleton of the cell. There's also a thing called filaments. I forgot the exact name, but the filaments help make up the cytoskeleton, are basically like proteins that are used for the skeleton. And that's it for the animal and plant cells. There's also the centrosome in here, and it helps make the filaments and whatnot in the cell. By filaments and whatnot, I mean filaments and microtubules, and the centriole helps in mitosis, which there isn't really any sexual reproduction in a plant cell unless during pollination, where there's a female plant and then there's a male plant. And that's it. Stop it.